Hello everyone, welcome to Dorkside Cookies, The Ingredients, where we show you how to set up a game, in this case, Ghostbusters by Cryptozoic. This is Mulan, who as soon as the lights come on, she's gotta get into my lap. Hopefully I can put her down and show you how to set up the game. Now, this is one of the easiest games to set up. All right, so choose your scenario. In this case, or in this particular game, each scenario is linked into a larger campaign, and the scenario you choose is going to affect the starting level of your Ghostbusters. So, and normally if you just played through, you'd get experience and they should advance at about that point as you go through. So we're gonna choose campaign 1, which means all of the characters should be level 1. Choose 4 Ghostbusters. Even if there's less than 4 players, you need to choose a minimum of exactly 4 Ghostbusters. In this case, we have Stantz, Griffin, who's from the comic books, Spangler, and Venkman. The scenario we're going to be setting up is Campaign 1, the Slimer situation. And what it says is, the gates in the area are causing your traps to malfunction. You better manage these phantom felons before they escape. Make sure your traps are in good working order now before you move on. The gates in this scenario are nicknamed release gates as they are able to rescue trapped ghosts from your clutches. So those are clues to tell the players kind of what's going to be happening. In this scenario, occasionally the ghosts that you trap are going to escape and you'll have to recatch them again. Now, the scenario card has a couple different key points. One is, what do you need to do to close a gate? Number 2, what happens for you to succeed and what happens for you to fail? In this starting scenario, it's the default rules, which is if a ghost tries to come out of a gate and can't because the spirit world is empty, you lose the game. To succeed, you close each open gate. It also, just as a side point, it also tells you if you roll the event die, and so event die is the one with all the weird little symbols on it. If you roll it and that particular gate is open, well, in this case, it's just the default, a ghost from the spirit world emerges from the gate. If the gate is closed, each Ghostbuster carrying 1 or more trapped ghosts loses one of them, which means as you close more gates, it's actually going to become a little bit more difficult to keep the ghosts in your traps long enough for you to get to the Ecto-1 and put it into the Dimensionizer and back into the spirit world. Now, the other side of the scenario has pretty clear tile setup. We've already put up the tiles. Pay close attention to the letter, either S or P, and the number, as well as the orientation. So in this case, S2 forms my start tile, and it's faced this way. And then P7 is rotated, and it's right here, while P9 is this way. So in that manner, each scenario can have a pretty different shaped order of obstacles. Like in this case, there's a fence going all the way around and there's only one opening. So pay close attention to where the little map is telling you to put the tiles in the orientation. Now, it also tells you where to put the gates. You can shuffle them. They don't particularly matter which goes in what area. It only matters that you're accurate in where they go. So put them so that they're open. 1 there, 1 there, 1 there, 1 here, and 1 right there. Okay? Then what I recommend doing is I recommend ordering your monster cards or ghost cards by level. So class 1, class 2, class 3. And then organizing in the spirit world all of your level 1s, your level 2s, and your level 3s. It's going to make it a lot quicker during gameplay to choose which ghosts go out depending on what level they are. Then you're going to want to get so in this case it says there's 5 level 1, 5 class 2, 5 class 3, and then on the map key you can see that there's 6 class 1 ghosts that are going to be played with, 3 class 2 ghosts that are going to be played with, and 1 class 3 ghost. And again, if you organize it before you start putting them on the board, it's going to be easier for you to make sure that you have the right numbers of each class on the board. All right, so just go ahead and take all the 1s. So 1 goes there, 1 goes there, 1 goes there. Again, this game, compared to most other cooperative games like this, is ridiculously easy to set up. Actually, there and there. And then our class 2s, go ahead, there, there, there. Keep your eye on these guys in the corners. Those are the guys most easily able to go off the board, and for most ghosts in most scenarios, off the board means out of play. It just makes it a little bit easier for you to lose. All right, and then we have 1 class 3, I think this is the Boogaloo manifestation. Yep. And we put that here. Ghosts have a line of sight of 3 spaces. So generally, if you want to avoid things like the class 3, because it's tougher, just try to keep all the Ghostbusters outside of the 3 spaces. It's not always going to be possible, but you can usually go most of the game without, I guess, triggering it to do things. You're going to want to start with your 4 chosen Ghostbusters on your Ecto 1 tile. Just put that aside somewhere where everybody can reach. You're going to put your Ecto 1 where it says to start. All right, put your PKE meter to one side, and the important thing is during the entire game, it needs to retain that original orientation. It doesn't matter how you put it in the beginning, just make sure that it stays the same, because as you're playing the game and the ghosts move, you're going to be rolling this D8 and looking at it, and that's the direction the ghost is going to be moving from wherever it starts from. All right, we've got, just to double check, you've got your portals, you've got your ghosts on the board, you've got a healthy amount of slime tokens available, you've got your PKE meter out, you've got some dice out, you've got your spirit world filled up, your Ghostbusters are there, you have your Ghostbusters chosen, and their color of streams are on their tile. I always think they look like donuts. You have your XP set to the bottom of the correct level. If you've continued on from a previous campaign in the same linked set of scenarios, you can keep the XP from the previous mission. And if you're starting in the middle of a scenario, make sure to put yourself at the bottom of the whatever level that is, right? Level 3 or level 4. And that's it. Final pieces of advice. Each of your Ghostbusters should be looked at for their alternative source of XP. In this case, Spengler, whenever he rolls a 1 on a proton roll, he gains 1 XP. Venkman, whenever he gets slimed by a ghost, gain 1 XP. Stance, whenever he spends an action to remove slime from another Ghostbuster, gain 1 XP. And Griffin, when your proton roll result is at least a 6, gain 1 XP. So you can kind of see how some of these characters can work together, especially Venkman and Stance, where Venkman always wants to kind of stand up front and get slimed, while Stance always wants to help the team and de-slime people. So if you keep that in mind in the very beginning, you're going to keep your power level on track with what they kind of expect as you're playing. To determine which Ghostbuster goes first, just choose randomly, or like in our case, whoever was the last person to have read or watched a Ghostbuster thing other than the rule book, which actually has kind of an interesting intro comic, have them go first. In this case, I am all for Ghostbusters, and so I will have I'll have Venkman go first. So when just to do a first quick round, just so you can kind of see how the gameplay is, the Ecto-1 can drive in any orthogonal direction. So that means straight, forward, back, or left or right. It cannot go diagonal. So when the Ecto-1 moves, it moves everybody inside with it. So Venkman just gonna, my strategy is to move fairly close to the gate, because line of sight's 3 spaces, and then hopefully everyone can get out and capture all these ghosts before anything big happens. So let's go ahead and move. The Ecto-1 can move up to 6 spaces. The back of the book has a nice little summary guide of what each action can do, and you get 2 actions each, and you can do each action more than once. And at level 3, you get 3 actions. So up to 6 spaces. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep in mind that little bus stop that seems to be maybe on fire, it's gonna block one of your Ghostbusters from getting out. So right or wrong, no, it's wrong. I'm not gonna risk it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't like it because I'm blocking off space, but I'll just trust him to get out of the way quickly. All right, so I'm gonna have Venkman get out. He's the red Ghostbuster. And they're allowed to do 1 maneuver for free. So he gets out of the Ecto-1 for free, and looking at a fearsome flush, to trap them is only 1 stream, and it's a 3 or higher to hit him. I feel pretty good about that. So for his second action, Venkman will, he did 1 maneuver to get out, 1 action to drive the Ecto-1. His second action is going to be to trap the fearsome flush, which is right next to the ghost. And I rolled, it's a little Ghostbuster symbol. That is a 6, excellent. So he is trapped. That, technically, it would have put 1 stream. And when it's caught, every Ghostbuster who has a stream on the ghost, well, gets 1 XP for each stream. In this case, that's 1 ghost with 1 stream. Venkman caught it. That's 1 XP. So I'm going to go ahead and move the dial over to the 1. And then, all right, the next Ghostbuster, Spangler, is going to hop out as a free action using his free maneuver. He's orange. Now, I have to be very careful about blocking in the other Ghostbusters. So as his free action is to get out, I'm going to go ahead and have him move here. Now, the red blocks both line of sight and movement. So this fence is going to keep this ghost from activating. Whereas the yellow blocks line of sight but not movement. And the orange blocks movement but not line of sight. So it's pretty easy to remember, but they're very distinct, and you want to take advantage of it to help you instead of hurting you. All right, so maneuver to get out, action to move, and second action, he will attack the Galloping Ghoul. Now, if he rolls a 1, which is bad, he gets an XP. So whether this is really bad or decently good, should be fine. It's just a middle that we don't want him to roll, basically a 2. All right. He rolled a 1, so he gets 1 XP, which is good. But then it says when missed, move 2 spaces in a random direction. So we're going to roll the die. That's a 7. And it's going to move 2 spaces, 1, 2. It definitely could have been worse, but 1 more space, he's off the board, and that's 1 less total ghost and a little bit closer to losing the game. All right, and to continue this round, Griffin, she's going to hop out. She'll actually hop out here. 1, 2, 3 spaces to try to close the portal. And so free maneuver to get out, and she can attack twice. She may be able to close this portal all by herself. So let's go ahead. Her special power again is if she rolls at least a 6, gain 1 XP. That's a 2, which is a miss. All right, so when we miss on the gate, we'll just take any of the lowest level ghost that's still in the spirit world, pop it out. All right, so we have a Galloping Ghoul, a class 1 ghost, popping out of the gate. We roll, it's a 3. It's gonna go to the adjacent space according to the PKE meter, which is right here. Now, at that point, it looks like the ghost is blocking line of sight for Griffin. So I'm gonna go ahead and have her second action be to capture the Galloping Ghoul. Well, we'll try. And she rolled a 5, not quite 6, so she's not gonna get the XP bonus for it, but that is enough to put her stream on it and capture it. So she gets 1 XP. If she'd rolled a 6, she could have gotten 2 XP. And then finally, Stance. He hops out. He's going to move. He can move up to 2 spaces, so he'll move here. He can move through friendly Ghostbusters, but not stop on the same space. And he will use his second action to try to put a stream onto the gate. And he failed, because that's what I'm rolling here. We're gonna roll, it's gonna be another Galloping Ghoul. It's number 4. So it's gonna appear right next to him. He's probably not going to appreciate that. And to finish our round, we're going to roll the event die, which again is the one with the weird symbols on it, and see what happens. It's a star. So look for the star, it's right here, and a ghost pops out. Oh, whoops, movement die, 3. So pops out here. You can quickly see how every round, if you're not really cleaning up the ghosts, which I feel like I'm doing a decent job if I wasn't missing on the gate so much. If you're not cleaning up the ghosts too much, this the spirit world's really gonna get cleared out, and not only that, but you're gonna have a lot of problems just trying to like navigate around. Now, something that I failed to do in this round that I really want to show is if I had succeeded in putting a stream on the gate, okay? So this is kind of like go to the next round. It's back to Venkman, and Venkman has moved. And even though I can't actually roll high enough to put a stream on the gate, we'll just pretend that I'm capable. If he puts the stream on the gate, you put the little donut out on the gate, and the kind of the cool thematic aspect of the game is that that stream stays there until a few different things happen. Either the gate closes, in which case, everybody gets the normal XP, 1 per stream that they had on the gate. So if he puts another stream, he gets 2 XP. If somebody else puts a stream on it, the gate closes, each of them gets 1 XP. He can move around the gate without, well, he can't cross that line because it's orange, but you can move around this gate, and even the stream, because you can see it, line of sight goes past orange, that stream stays. So he can definitely like maneuver to dodge ghosts. Certain ghosts go only certain directions. So if you're smart and you pay attention to the kind of ghosts that are near you, you can say, you know what, I don't want to be here. I'm going to move. And when you move there, the stream stays, which is obviously very much like, well, Ghostbusters, right? I mean, that's how they did it. They would kind of like maneuver around the room, trying to keep the ghost inside the stream. The other thing is that obviously, because it is supposed to be a stream from your proton pack, if you move out of line of sight, either past like a red line, because red blocks line of sight, past yellow, because that blocks line of sight, and even more in this case, if you get more than 3 spaces away, that's out of line of sight. Your proton pack only has so much distance, and so you pull all of your streams off. Not everybody else's, just yours. And let's see. So the other aspect that I wasn't able to do in one round is the ghosts in your traps. So the ghosts on your tile are in a trap, and you go next to the Ecto-1, and as a maneuver, remember there's 2 things you can do with maneuvers. One is to get out of the Ecto-1, but the other thing you can do with the as a maneuver is to put your ghosts into the dimensionizer that is in the Ecto-1. The dimensionizer just puts trapped ghosts back into the spirit world. In this game, they have a concept of if there's not enough ghosts in the spirit world, then the walls between reality and the ghost world break down, and I guess a big Twinkie happens. So don't let the spirit world run out of ghosts. You want to keep just pouring them back into the Ecto-1, which puts them back into the spirit world. And slime. So if a ghost moves through a Ghostbuster, number 1, they can't stop until they hit an open space. So if a ghost were to hit this area, he would go straight through, slime both of them. So both of these characters get slimed. I kind of like putting them on the board because it lets me mentally tell who is actually slimed. And now each of them has -1 action. Remember, levels 1 or 2, you only have 2 actions. Level 3 and above, you have 3 actions each. Now, in this type of scenario where each of you have -1 action, of course, what you really want is you want to have stance. Ray. You want Ray to remove a slime from somebody else because he gets an XP every time he does that. And that's just an action, right? It's just like combat or moving or anything else. You can do it as many times as you have actions. Like in this case, in this scenario, if this were to happen, I would probably have Spangler de-slime stance, and then I would have Ray. Well, and then of course Spangler would do something else, probably like missing on it, trying to close a portal, because that's me playing. And then Ray would de-slime Venkman, and he would get 1 XP for that. Spangler doesn't get any XP for de-sliming someone, but it's helpful, right? Because it's -1 action. Let's see. Anything else? There's different rules, like the fearsome flush. Just for example, when he's trapped, he slimes 2 spaces away in 4 directions. So it's pretty interesting. You roll the d8, and if it's an even number, it's orthogonal, and if it's odd, it's diagonal. So if, and there you go. That was pretty easy to cheat. Whenever you trap a ghost, you definitely want to look to see what happens. And in this case, when that flesh was trapped, I should have rolled, and then because it's even, I look on the even chart, and the flush would have slimed everything within 2 spaces, up, down, left, and right. And if I'd rolled odd, then it would have slimed diagonally, up, left, up, right, down, right, bottom, left, right? So The Galloping Ghouls, on the other hand, work very differently. When they're trapped, they automatically slime everybody adjacent to them. If a Galloping Ghoul goes into the same space as another Galloping Ghoul, then they actually merge and they become one of these gruesome twosomes. So something you have to keep in mind there is that if this little guy runs on top of him, both of these are removed from the game. They're gone. And you have to go back to the box and pull out a gruesome twosome. Do not grab a gruesome twosome from the spirit world. That's not how it works. And the spawn of Cthulhu, which I highly recommend not putting out unless it's one of the last ghosts in the spirit world, primarily because I feel like the spawn of Cthulhu is special, right? Like, I mean, he's the only non-incorporeal ghost in the spirit world right now. He actually pushes people around, and he can't leave the board, and he can't go through obstacles. He also needs 3 streams to catch him, which is kind of like, he's almost like a class 2.5. He does slime people, but he moves them as well because he's physical. So he's just a pain. It just really, if you can keep him in the spirit world as long as possible, I recommend it. All right. Click like, click subscribe, and slime on.